In this video, we're going to be talking about VFX pipeline, and especially how you can empower your workflow with AI. So as you know, wherever you go, there's a lot of talking about AI on social medias, on your gathering with your friends and your community. When you go to the working place, there's all over the place. AI word is all over the place, from newspaper to TV. But what I'm curious actually is that, can we really use AI into a form of production-ready pipeline? Can we really have this powered machine that we can bring and put it on our workflow? So for this video, we're going to be focusing on how we can previs a scene kind of usage that we can use it for VFX production pipeline powered by AI. In this case, it's going to be Firefly. So welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Alvis Wolff. Let's dive in. I'm not going to be making it complex. I will go through a very, very simple workflow, because my intention is that you can use it in your music video project, or your feature project, or your indie feature project, or whatever you want to do as a creator. Maybe even as a professional, if you want to have a previs, if your budget is very limited, I think this workflow going to be helping you regardless your position and what the project is. As you can see, we're going to be starting with the very first principle of the VFX. As I said, once again, it's going to be a very, very simplified workflow. It's not a legit workflow of the VFX. We're not going to be breaking down VFX pipeline here. That's not my job. That's not my business. But for very start point, what you should have, what you should consider about is that, what is the initial idea? So in this case, what you can see is that I have 3 pictures for my principal and my 4 reference images. So the very first image that you can see in left corner is the reference image of myself. I just using it as a case study. So you can use your actor or actress's reference image. And my recommendation will be that to have your reference image in different angles. Why? Because you never know what's going to be the position of your character into the scene that you want to implement. So it could be really beneficial if you using it and have all different angles, from left to right, from top to bottom, from side to back, to can using it in your project. How we can make it, it's going to be different video. I think I have been mentioned on the other video that I'm going to be putting a link somewhere. I don't know how it's worked, but it should be somewhere that you can find it. Definitely, it's going to be, I think the name of it was a 3D character, something that you can find in my channel. But for making a realistic, as you see here, because the other video was a figure 3D character reference, but for making it a realistic, I will definitely come back to this point at some point and give you a kind of guidance how you can make a similar photo using AI. If not, you can simply take photos. You can take like literally a real photography using cameras, clean background, to have this reference, a sort that you can use it. So here, the image has been made on AI. As you see, there's a credential content badge on it, and I made it on Gemini using Firefly boards. And this is going to be the first step. The second step will be to have some sort of composition reference or image reference of what are you looking for. So this is a picture of me standing on North Shore of North Vancouver, and I asked my wife to take a picture from my back, and I just stand in front of the beach to take a picture. So the point that I have this idea was very vague in my mind. I didn't have any kind of like clear ideas how it's going to be in the end of the result, but for start point, I think it's going to be a good point of start to have some kind of reference image to use in it. If you bear with me to the end of this video, you're going to be seeing how we change this composition to have it as much as near to production ready result. This third image that I have been collected was a picture of a whale, and this picture was just come directly from internet. I just Googled it on Google, and I just pasted in my Adobe Firefly board to using it as a reference. So these are three different images. That's going to be the initial first step of point in starting point that we can use in implementing the VFX previs on next step. First of all, this picture is vertical. What I want to do is that I will to convert this image to a horizontal picture. It's really simple. So you click on your image, you go up, there's a crop button here, and you click on it. So I expand the edge of the picture from left to right, and what you can see, there's an expand button in the bottom of your screen that say expand. You can change the aspect ratios also if you want manually, or using it with the pre-resolved presets for your aspect ratio from portrait to landscape, widescreen, or square. So in this case, it's going to be widescreen. If you are not sure about the aspect ratio, it would be very, very easy to use. So I just press expand, and it's going to be expanding my image. So it's ready now. As you can see, there's three different options that you can choose between, whichever you prefer, which one you prefer. I think this one is better because you can see the edge of the picture has been expanded proper, but not this one. It's like a cut here. So I don't want this one, and this one same. So I will stick to the first version of it, and I'm going to be keeping it as is. So the expanded image is ready right now. The next step will be to using the whale image and see how we can draft some sort of reference composition. It's going to be very easy also. What I should do is that I want to remove the background on this image and isolate the whale in a separate different object. So on top, there is a remove background button, and you're going to be pressing this one. It's going to be loading, and it's going to be removing the background and isolate the whale as it should. So now these two assets are ready, and you can jump into the next step that you can make a draft of your previous composition. So this one was the previous version that I made. The workflow was similar to what I just showed you. And for here, what you can see is that I simply drag and drop the object that we isolate the background and just put it here. As you see, it's very sloppy. It's very ugly. I know that you're going to be writing into the comment section that it's not beautiful. It's not proper. I don't like it. It's sloppy. As said, the whole initial of this workflow is going to be to seeing how your image going to be look like, how the composition going to be look like, and you're going to be using it as a reference image. So once again, we're going to be using this artboard because artboard going to be compiling all of the images as it should, and I'm going to be having the widescreen aspect ratio 90/20 by 1080. And if you just put this image into your artboard, it's going to be compiled your image or understand your image as a one cohesive reference image. So let's see how this is going to be work. I just designed a prompt that this one is really simple prompting. I made it separate by parameters, separation with the colors, so you can see that more clear and more visualized. From here, what should I do is that I'm going to be using sample from Canvas, and I'm going to be selecting the artboard use as an image reference, and I'm going to be just copy paste my prompt here, and I'm going to be choosing the widescreen as aspect ratio. I think 1K is good. And then for the model, I will go with Gemini Nano Banana 2. You can use Pro also. I prefer to use 3.1 at this point. For the seed, I should restart the seed because I don't want to follow up the previous seeds that I had in this boards. But basically what seed is going to be doing is that it's somehow follow up the process of making any images that you have been made before as a thread from previous version to next version. So it's kind of like connecting the dots from the project that you have been worked on from one still image to another still image. But for this one, I will just restart it. So I just delete the seeds here. And then what we should do is just to generate to see how the result is going to be. Okay, so let's see what we have here. It's very epic, I should say. So as you can see, the result is very nice one with all this splashed water, very, very cinematic scene. And we can see the gigantic whale has been come out from the water and it's just want to jump out from it. And the man is standing here also. And waters are all over the places. It's certainly follow our reference image. As you can see, the color is slightly different, but that's totally fine because my prompt say that it's going to be a cinematic scene, and this is what is indicating the color differentiation from the reference image to the one that we have here. So if you're wondering why the position of the whale has been changed, I think because in the initial prompt, what we say was that we're going to be having a colossal whale. This is what indicate to the Firefly that we want to change the size of the whale from what we had before to this composition. I think the result is nice. It can be useful for pre-visualization of your idea and see if it's going to be worked or not. If you have to change your scene, if you have to change your location, or if you have to change your composition for making it more visualized and appealing. I don't want to just show you the beautiful images. I want to keep it real. So what you see here is that the image is not as accurate as it should. The person is kind of weird, like the twist of the body is not real. I didn't like the composition here because whale is kind of behind the scene and it's like not in front of the manned object that I want. It's not certainly coming from from the water. And what we see is that it's kind of like all behind the city landscape and also this small island landscape. This one was also the same. It's changed the position of the character. I didn't want that. I want to character be as it was. And as I show you, that was the first initial prompting. But for making it as what we got from the result, I will show you this prompting that can hopefully guide you through writing a better prompt. So I'm going to be going really through this and we're going to be dividing it step by step. So compose a colossal whale emerging from the ocean in left side of the frame. This is going to be the very first part and parameters that we're going to be indicating and commanding to AI what we are looking for. The next parameter is splashing water everywhere. And what you see is that the water splash is coming out from the whale. And certainly in the result that we made, it was more dramatic. And then the final part of the prompt was that preserve the character posing with no change. And this is what certainly indicated to the AI to not changing the position of the character from here or here that you could see to this version that we see right now. You can follow up the same process by making your image using reference image. As you can see here, I just use the reference image to indicate what is the character. And also there's no other reference image rather than just prompting it by using this prompt. So my prompt here was that a high editorial cinematic scene feature a man standing in front of a beach. And as we had the character reference, it's going to be exactly as it should. The next part was that back to the camera with the black loosey fitting hoodies and knee-long white shirt and no shoes. So as you can see, we also indicated what is the variables of the character. I'm just focusing on the character right now. So please bear with me. I will just change it so you can see what we're talking about now. So this is what the part that we talked about on here on back to the camera with the black loosey fitting hoodies and the knee longs, white short and no shoes. So the next part was here. So I will make it as exactly the color of the prompt that you can see. So what it says is that in front of him, far in a scene, a gigantic colossal size whale in the size of the huge galactical monster. And this is what we see here. There's a huge whale in size of galactical monster. And what's happening with this two character? So this is the next parameters that you should indicating to the AI. Is so the whale is emerging from the ocean. On the left side of the frame, we had the man on the right side, and then we have the whale on the left side. And what's happening is that it's splashing water everywhere. The composition is editorial and aesthetical. So these two parts, these two final part, editorial and aesthetical, it's going to be giving order to AI to have this beautiful landscape. It has beautiful color setup also, and it has this beautiful sunset that is in the sea. So it can be different based on your based on your creativity and based on your vision. That's just an example to see how we can start from an idea to the very end point. In next step, I'm going to be showing you how you can make it ready for your workflow of your production and see it more. In next step, I'm going to be showing you how you can use this and make it ready for your production pipeline as a production ready result. So to sum it up, this is a finalizing step that probably you will follow up. If you are ready, if you think that you are kind of happy with the result, that's going to be your result. You can use it for your artwork. You can use it in the brief that you want to send to clients. You can use it just as a artistic result. But if not, the step that you should be following, as I did, was that I used image to video model using still image as a reference image, and then converted it to video using generative video that you can see here. So it's exactly beside the generate image in your Firefly boards. And in this step, what you can do is that you're going to be converting any still images to any video that you're looking for. The prompt for this one was exactly as we used before. So this is the prompt that I used for converted from still image to video. I just follow up the same prompt because it has its reference from the still image, but to make a command through the words, it's going to be like sampling the ideas that you have, and it's going to be giving even more context to your AI model to understand it, how it's going to be, and how it should be. The video has been generated in Kling using Adobe Firefly partner model, Kling, and we can see the result here together. Yeah, so as you see, it is a very beautiful visualization of the idea, and it's even more dramatic and cinematic when you have it as a video. If you are a little bit more picky and if you want to use it in kind of more production ready workflow, what you can do is that you can take it even further using still image to video, and then from this step you can upscale your result. So the result that you're seeing here is the exact same reference image using upscaling. And what I did was that I used Topaz Lab partner model inside Firefly, which is reachable from here. you click on your video, it's going to pop up this pop-up menu. And then in here, as you can see, it say upscale with Topaz Astra. So it's using Topaz Astra partner model in Adobe Firefly boards for upscaling your video. And it's going to be giving you 3 different simple options that you can choose from precise to creative, from speed to quality, and from 1080p, which is HD resolution, to 4K resolution. So what I did was that I went with precise, quality, and 4K. It's going to be cost 320 credits from your Adobe Firefly credits at this moment. And when you hit generate, it's going to be upscaling your image. It's going to take a little bit time for upscaling the video. So to be prepared, it's not going to be instant result, maybe something approximately between 2 to 3 to 4 minutes based on the length of your video. But what you're going to be getting as a result, it's a beautiful 4K result, as precise as your initial video. In my experience, what you see in Adobe Firefly board is kind of downscaled resolution. So if you are really want to see the final result, you should download the video from the Firefly board to have it offline and see it from your root hard drive. What you should do is that when you click on your video, it's going to be pop up this menu, and from here, from download button, you can simply click on it, and it's going to be downloading the video into your local hard disk. Thank you everyone to follow this video to the end. I really appreciate it. I really hope that you find it useful and you learned something for using it in your production ready pipeline when you want to previs any VFX or any kind of creative idea that you want to implement into your creative project. If you like this video, please follow the YouTube channel, and you can also hit me on Instagram by Alvis Wolff _. And please send me your project. If you have any question, put it on comment section and I will be back to you. Thank you very much. Cheers.